Because the reason I'm asking from where it is coming is, as doctors, we keep having this CMEs.
No, so for this, let me tell you, maybe not really for physical fitness.
And I'm sure you're happy.
Yes, absolutely.
Coming to Telugu states, and Telugu people really took care of you and everything. In this context, I have seen physical abuse, I have seen psychological abuse. It is very easy to, say that, okay, physical abuse hua hai, to a punishment. It's very difficult to actually tell psychological abuse ka wo proof hi nahi milega. Then how do you actually confirm there has been psychological abuse, and how do you go about with it?
See, the thing is, what happens in the four walls, they will only know. The thing is, that is why I say the woman has to be confident, and if there is that kind of abuse, why should she tolerate it in the first place? That is one. Next is, as far as investigation is concerned, police does the investigation. You know, there are circumstantial evidence. It doesn't need to be evidence, you know. It can be circumstantial evidence, and if the woman has been beaten up, there can be medical evidence. All these things, of course, we take into consideration.
Any recordings she has done?
Any recordings that she has done, what she has spoken, what she has written during the course of her marriage life, what she has spoken to her friends, her family members, all those are taken into consideration. So that's how we do. And of course, another thing is, we first try to see that the marriage is not broken whenever a case comes to us. So that is why we do have counseling centers also, which is not counseling by the police personnel, mind you. It is psychologists who are doing the counseling, and we give them a chance that both the husband and wife, they go. And if it is possible, if the psychologists, if the counselors can, help them out in living a more peaceful and dignified life, it's okay. But even then, if the woman feels that, no, I cannot tolerate it, he's not improving, then they can definitely go ahead with the case, and we will continue with the case.
Right. So it's in a marital situation, I totally understand. But when it comes to a child abuse in a family by the relative or own father, it becomes a difficult situation for everybody involved to be talking about it. So how, as a doctor, I know of many instances when they come, when they don't want to even go to the police or don't even want to be evaluated in the norm of rape or even abuse angle. So how do you think, as responsible citizens, both in your profession and our profession, we should be looking at it, and how can we actually sensitize people to it?
See, let me tell you, 99% of the cases of child sexual abuse happens by people who is known to the child. So it may be a family member, it may be a neighbor, it may be a friend, an uncle, an acquaintance, somebody. So in many cases, as you were saying rightly, that the family members try to brush it under the carpet. And but let me tell you, as per law, if you are in the knowledge that the child has been abused sexually, and you do not report it to the concerned authorities, you are also liable for punishment. So anyone, for that matter, maybe a neighbor, maybe it can be the family member also. If you are aware that the child is being abused and you do not, and tomorrow
it comes to light,
then you are liable for punishment, yes.
Please, please, please remember that child abuse, it cannot be taken as normalcy, and please do not normalize it. Adi families lo ante, avi ante, manam valla meeda depend ayyamo ani complete ga maneyandi. And police is with you. ఇవన్నీ బయటకు వచ్చేసి ఇవన్నీ పెద్దగా అయిపోయి ఏమైపోతుంది మా ఫ్యామిలీ. నో, యూ కెన్ ఆల్వేస్ మూవ్ అవుట్ ఇన్ టు న్యూ స్టార్ట్ ఎ న్యూ బిగినింగ్ ఇన్ యువర్ లైఫ్. దిస్ హెస్ ఆల్వేస్ బీన్ థింగ్, అండ్ ద అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ డిఫరెన్స్.
In fact, I want to say something. For the sake of the child, We need to understand it is not the life of the father or mother or the family members. You have to think about the psyche of the child. Now, whenever we are taking in a child abuse case, we try to be very, see, bharosa is for that matter. For it is made for that purpose. So for any child abuse case, any in fact rape case or child abuse case, the victim is first brought to the Bharosa Center, and there the statements, whatever the procedures that have to take place, it is done by very, very trained police personnel. There's a woman inspector, and she is normally not in uniform because the child may feel threatened, by seeing a uniform. So she is normally in a civil dress. There is a doctor in place. In fact, you have also been very kind, in helping us out. And in fact, we have psychologists, and so all these people are in place in Bharosa, and we ensure that the child is not re-victimized. And and we also have a child-friendly court, a beautiful child-friendly court also in Hyderabad today. And in fact, let me also proudly say that the Supreme Court has also recognized this child-friendly court and the Bharosa Center of Hyderabad as one of the centers which can be replicated across the country. So
wonderful. Not just this, I feel the whole SHE team and the Bharosa system, everything should be replicated in every state in India. Then only the whole thing is going to matter. And on the same continuation of this, I always think, when there is a marital disharmony and the physical abuse thing is happening, many a times your in-laws or everybody will say, for the child of sake, please be together. Then I actually feel, for the child of sake, such a toxic relationship should not be together. So what is your take on it?
Very true. In fact, I also feel when a child is witness to this kind of a toxic relationship, when the child witnesses the abuse that the mother is undergoing, what is the psychology, what is the kind of mental, it is like a mental abuse to the child also, because how he or she will grow up and they will not be normal adults.
I know of cases where the kid, when he reaches 14, 15 years, he takes the mother out of the relationship and start another new house. I mean, how much guts the kid at 14 years had to have. I mean, till that time, that woman is pushed and told to stay in the house because of the child. So I think this is something which people have to understand, and there is a system which is supporting you. That is something people please remember. And after doing all this, I think I was very proud when I heard that you became the additional DGP of the women's safety. So how was your feeling when I think you are very, very young and very fast, and I think she deserves every piece of accolades we keep giving her.
Thank you, Doctor. Actually, it was, in fact, I'm humbled actually for getting this promotion also, and responsibilities increase with more the higher you go. And I think, being ADG of Women's Safety for Telangana State, obviously, I feel that, entire Telangana, whatever needs to be done, we will definitely try to do. My office is there, and we have a good team today. And we are trying to do our best. We have formed into various modules to take care of women and child safety in a more 360 degrees perspective. And there's a lot to be done, and we cannot be complacent. Lots to be done. And we also need to learn from others. We have been learning from not only some of the states which are doing well in India, but also, outside countries also. The kind of advocacy centers that they have, to take care of women and children, and the technology that they are using.
Child services.
So I think we will be utilizing, and we will be learning from outside also, and trying to replicate those in Telangana to make it more safe. Yes, definitely.
See, me being in this position where we are, I run a column in Enadu. I never give my phone number in it. Initial days, what exactly happened is, whenever we give something, we think that it is very easy if people know how to communicate with us. And there was a time once, in place of a hospital number being coming in that, my number was put. And I had a terrible time. I mean, telephone harassment, knowing everybody knows it's a doctor who is a senior gynecologist running a show, but the obscene messages I used to get. Then luckily, me having friends in the police and all, I could really take care of it. I changed my phone number, that's a second story. But first thing, yes, police did help me a lot in doing it. So this is okay, but then also if there are so many kids whose number can be just shared between people and this. So how exactly can this be tackled, and what exactly you want to tell the teenagers today about the social media safety, how safe they should be, and what are the things they have to take care when they are on social media, because everybody is on social media nowadays.
Definitely. In fact, most important is today, when the teenagers, adolescents, anybody for that matter, we are on the social media, we need to understand that social media is like a street, and when you are posting any picture, especially, you have to be very careful about who you want that picture to be seen by, which friends. So your privacy settings also should be properly in place, and you should be careful, while on social media. Having said that, there are some people who are, basically in that job only of harassing people, and so for such things, I think it is important. Number one is awareness about cybercrime. What is cybercrime? What constitutes cybercrime? What is all this you should know. That is number one. We also did a 1-month cyber crime awareness campaign called Cyber, especially for women and children. And there were very, good cyber safety experts whom we called, and there were live chats, and we did a lot of things. And we could reach out to almost 15 lakh people across Telangana and outside also. So number one is awareness about cybercrime. And apart from that, if there is anything, if anything happens, in case you are blackmailed or anything happens, please report it. Please report it. And there are ways, if in the social media, if it is happening, then you can report to the concerned social media page also. You can report it, they can block it and all that. But apart from that, you should always report to the police. Yes, we have cybercrime police stations also in Hyderabad, and we also have the WhatsApp numbers also.
And the hacking, that has become quite common, especially the email hacking and sending out so many messages to everybody and then trying to collect a thing. I think that also comes into the cyber.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, that is why you should be careful also about your social media pages, and whether anybody else is using that page, whether it has been hacked. So that, and if you feel that, maybe the page has been hacked, you should immediately first is change the password. Right. That should be immediately done. And and then ask your friends, and to see whether, what kind of messages or images have been posted. And then accordingly, you can, in case it is, obscene or something, you can always report.
How easy or difficult is it to complain to the cyber crime bureau?
No, absolutely. You have to, it's not a question of easy or difficult. You have to complain, yes. And it is our duty to take action. So, as far as police is concerned, if it is a cognizable offense, we cannot say no. So, unless and until you give the complaint, you should not have any apprehension as to, whether they will take it or not take it. Yes. I think you should complain. Yeah. And then also, the police also has several hierarchies. In the police station, if they are not, responding, there is the subdivisional officer. If the subdivisional officer is not responding, there's the zonal person, or the SP is there, or in the commissionerate the DCP is there. So please ensure that and today Telangana police are there in their Twitter handles also. They have their Facebook, they have their social media pages. So you can always complain. And another important thing is, in case of an emergency, of course, this is not cybercrime, you'll have to complain. But in case of an emergency, somebody is, you are on the street, or some problem is there, or somebody's come to your home, or something is happening, stalking is happening, please call 100. And let me tell you, these patrol vehicles have been trained for responding to your emergency call. So please do not ever hesitate in calling 100. They will come and they will attend to you.
Talking of perversions, the reason I'm asking you again this question is, there will be some barber or some guy who's literally on the road, who is no work, he has lots of time, so he gets a phone number, then he just picks up and talks obscene things. What is wrong with this generation? Or is it the perversions have worsened, thinking that they are immune, nobody can catch me, and we are behind the thing, so we are not visible? Why don't they understand that nothing is invisible nowadays?
Absolutely. So that is why, complaining is important. Right. And taking action against such people is important.
And making it evident to people, yes, that action has been taken. Yes. Again, don't back off. If you back off thinking that my name will come, these people will not get the lesson of their life. Please remember that.
And another thing is, if you do not complain and action is not taken against that person, he will actually start doing it to others also.
Yeah, serial abuser.
Yes. So it is important that that person learn a lesson. That is why I keep telling the girls that do not tolerate any kind of abuse. Right. Please report. Right. Because once you report, we will be after that person, and once that person is, that person will be taught a lesson.
I remember, because this person who was harassing, at the same time he was harassing 5 more people, one teacher, one this thing. So it becomes like for time pass for him, yes, or what gratification he gets by writing it, that he's a sicko, he's a psychologically abnormal person. That's it.
Absolutely.
So we heard so much about it, Telangana police, we heard about you and everything, but we want to know more about you. So there is a session which we call it as Manasulo Mata with Dr. Manjula Nagani. So there will be certain things which I keep asking. I'm sure you're a straightforward person, so you would be telling. So the first question I would like to ask you is, what does money mean to you?
Money is important, but not the most important thing. As long as you are comfortable, I think that much of money is okay for me.
What does love mean to you?
A lot. Love is everything, actually. And when I speak about love, I think about my family. So probably love is family.
Knowledge.
Progress, I would say.
So who has been your inspiration? If you have named somebody, like I wanted to be that, so in your profession or in your personal life.
Frankly speaking, nobody has been a, one person inspiration for me as such. I get inspired even by my juniors. I get inspired by my seniors. So it is not any one person whom I look up to. I try to learn from every person the best that person, because I feel that every person has something good in each person. So I try to, take the best out of each person.
So, what is your USP?
Teamwork, definitely. You can always give ideas, but in order to ensure that that idea works, the team is important. And because from bottom to up, if each and everything that you have dreamed about, you want to implement, then the team is very important. Team needs to understand. And I think getting the team to work also and do what you want to is important.
What do you want people to remember you for?
Probably as an officer who tried to do something.
Who changed so many things also. I think your compassion towards the thing is something which people will remember, and your dedication to your this thing is something people will definitely remember.
I hope so, but there's lots to be done. It is just the beginning, I feel.
But your commitment, I'm sure you would be able to do it. So what is the weirdest thing you did in your life?
I will talk about an incident, in fact. I think I was a teenager then, and we were all cousins. We had gone on a matador, which my father had somehow organized for us. We were about 10 cousins, and I was just a teenager probably then. And it was a birthday celebration, somebody's birthday celebration, and we went to this restaurant, and suddenly we found that some police vehicles were coming behind us, and my youngest cousin was probably about 10 years old, and he was also there. I was also just about 13 or 14 years old, and we were having our food in that restaurant, and then we saw a lady constable and some male constables also. They came, and the senior most, the person who was with us, my bhaiya who was there, they went and they said that they whispered something in his ears, and then he said that the matador in which we've come, it seems to be stolen. So we were like, we said, ask them to wait, we'll finish our food and then
talk about it.
Because we were all children then. And then, so they waited, and then there were no cell phones during that time. So we had to call up my dad. I mean, what is the matador that he has sent? So anyways, so then they said, no, you people have to come to the police station. So my youngest cousin and I were very excited. Police station, we have to go to the police station.
Never thought you would be there.
And my elder ones were very scared. I mean, they were the responsible ones. And of course, we went to the police station. We went there and we were sitting there. And then, of course, they spoke to our parents. And of course, to cut the story short, we, of course, came back. And it was just that the number was a little different, and there was a confusion on the number, registration number. So it was a very different kind of an experience for me.
So is there anything you regret in your life, regret doing or not doing?
I think it is better not to regret, one has to move on. I try to maybe improve upon in case there's anything that I have not liked, maybe improve upon it, or maybe forgive, forget, and move on.
In order of preference, you want to be rich, famous, or powerful?
Powerful, famous, rich.
Wonderful, wonderful. This was a discussion which we were also having, and said, I think if you have power, rest of the things can automatically mostly come in accordingly. Okay, finally, what is your dream? Is there any dream which you want to do once your responsibilities are over? then I want to do this or something like that.
When my responsibilities are over, as in when I retire,
Probably retire, or your responsibility towards your kids are over, whatever, whenever.
I think I would rather, you know, I'm dreaming of staying, you know, with my husband in a nice, comfortable house.
Think together, like, not one posted somewhere, one posted here and all. I think those days are over.
Yes, yes.
You said you got married, and because of his position in Andhra, you had to come here. And then both of you are in the same civil services. So one being in IAS, one being in IPS. Not every time both will be posted in the same city. And I'm sure many a times must have come, one is posted somewhere and you are posted. See, this long distance always comes onto the nerves, and especially when both are equally busy and powerful and work. So how did you manage it, and what is your advice on these long distance marriages to become successful?
Yeah, in fact, it all started with him being posted in Andhra Pradesh, and I was, in fact, earlier in Bihar, Ranchi. And in fact, I will make it a little jovial also here. I did not know Telugu at all at that time. There was no cell phones during that time. And, you know, the only phone available was the landlines. So whenever I had to speak to my husband, I had to call on the landline. And when the staff picked it up, they didn't know English or they did not know Hindi, and I didn't know Telugu at that point of time. So there was a very, you know, funny conversation going on. So then I realized that I have to learn Telugu if I have to speak to my husband. So having said that, of course, you know, earlier days of our career was, of course, always in different posts, you know, different cities, different. In fact, I wouldn't say cities. They were small towns. Okay, very small towns, subdivisions. So it started with. Initially, of course, he was in Paderu, a small subdivision in Vishakhapatnam. I was in Ranchi, and then, of course, when I was transferred to AP, erstwhile AP, I was in Narsipatnam. So though we were, you know, away from each other, but of course, over phone. In fact, during that time, there were no cell phones also, for that matter. But I think.
PP calls.
Sorry?
PP calls.
No, I mean, that was, you know, within Andhra Pradesh, it was all right. I mean, the landlines were okay. So I think it is during weekends we used to meet. Either I would go to him or he would come to me, depending on our work. If he had work, I was there. And but still, I think talking every day, you know, communication maybe shortens that gap. But of course, you know, when you are busy and when you are doing your work, I think that was the time also when I feel that work was important. So in a way, I think it was a blessing that during the week we were busy in our own works, but during weekends we could meet and we were there. And of course, we were taking breaks also. So if possible, we used to, you know, go on leave and, you know, go out on a holiday for maybe a couple of days. So yes, you need to put in that effort to, one is meet wherever possible. Otherwise, you should be available wherever, whenever, over phone, because communication is important. There are times when you want to immediately talk, you know, at that point of time, I think, you know, one should be available for each other.
It was really, really wonderful, and actually more, I think I learnt a lot from today's interview, because there are things which Aam Aadmi, just general public, we always read in the papers, but we do not know about and how to go about with it. So thank you, Swati, for coming on this show.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. సో అసలంటూ సాధించాలి అనుకుంటే ఉమెన్ ఏదన్నా సాధించవచ్చు, కానీ సాధించడానికి ఏమైనా అడ్డం వస్తే భయపడాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. అండ్ సేఫెస్ట్ ప్లేస్ టు స్టే ఈజ్ కమ్యూనిటీ. అండ్ దెన్ ఆ టైంలో మనకు సేఫ్టీకి ఏమాత్రం అడ్డం జరిగినా, ప్రాబ్లం జరిగినా, పోలీస్ ఈజ్ ఆల్వేస్ దేర్, షీ టీమ్స్ ఆర్ దేర్, భరోసా ఇస్ దేర్. సో భరోసా పెట్టుకోండి, అంటే మీరు నమ్మండి. అండ్ దెన్ మనం మాట్లాడకపోతే వేరే వాళ్ళు వచ్చి మనల్ని కాపాడగలరు అని మాత్రం అనుకోకండి. సో this is what we have today, and anytime you have any questions, till I come back next time, many more questions from you and many more answers from me.